Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the
Helps if I add myself to the stream. Good evening. Good evening. We are calmer this evening. We are relaxed. I've just watched half of the Villarreal, more than half Villarreal-Barcelona game. Barcelona are currently getting beat 3-2. And Barcelona are playing a 16-year-old player. It's very interesting. Barcelona are playing a 16-year-old player where we seem to be pumping out our players out on loan. And it's always been said, if they're good enough and they're young enough, play them. Play them. And that's where we've been going wrong at Celtic for the last couple of years. There was a time, and it was probably about 10, 15 years ago now, that we had a conveyor belt of young players at Celtic. And it's kind of dried up a bit. And we're going to talk about this evening. The first thing I want to talk about is 8 players that still might leave Celtic in the next couple of days. 8 players. It's unbelievable to think that we're this far into the window. The window the Celtic women team should play next week, yeah, because they absolutely trashed Dundee United they were playing. It's unbelievable to think that we're only days away from the window shutting and we've still got players at the club that should be nowhere near it. And it is embarrassing the way that this window has ending. Right, let's welcome. There's 184 people online already, which is good. I'll quickly run through as many as I can. If I missed you out, I'm sorry. Paul McLean is in, Soapy's in, and Gizabel's in. Celtic FC, You'll Never Walk Alone is in. Paul, Charles, Vincent from Andalusia, Jock Law is in, Chilpill is in, and Joe's in, 1414 official, Slaven's in, Tamac's in the house, Diane's in, Danny, James, Rod, Graham, Lanky's in, Brian X, there's Paul Baird is in, Mark Boyd's in, John's in, Anthony, Just Celtic, Helen's in, Lovett's in, Hail, everybody. I'm going to miss out loads of people, but the comments are just flying in now. That's what I like to see. I love this little community that we've grown on YouTube. It's absolutely fantastic. Even the Mate the Celtic Supporters podcast is in the house. Fighting Irish is in. Right, Fran Alonso would be great first team manager. Let's not talk about that first of all. Let's talk about the players that are still at Celtic at the moment that could still leave. And then we're going to talk about one that's took a bit of a huff and went live on social media. Well, not live, but he posted. Talk about him first of all. Haksabanovic taking to social media is saying basically, if I'm not liked, I should maybe look somewhere else. Maybe if you started playing, when we look at his right, we'll talk about the goalkeeping situation. We'll come back to him because we're going to talk about him for a while. Benji Siegrist he needs to get out the door. And I think it's unbelievable that we're trying to push the guy out the door, but before we can get another keeper in. He has been linked with a move elsewhere, but there's nothing came of it as yet. Yuki Kobayashi is nowhere near the first team. I think he could get moved on. Definitely think he could move on. What about Bernabe? Since he's came in, turning up late for training, he's done nothing to show us that is good enough. And Celtic are in the market for another left back. If you're in the market for another left back, he has to be the one that I would say has to go. Do we still have Soro at the club? I'm sure Soro actually got another team. But if he's not, he's one that needs to go. I think he did get another team. Somebody tell me in the comments, did we get rid of Soro? Something tells me that we did get rid. There we go. Robert, you're an absolute star. I just popped on and seen that. I got some beers on your behalf last night and I got absolutely rat-assed. And yes, I did. So Get the thumbs up. Kobe's injured. Half the team's injured. Sorry, went for 200. That's right, he did. He went for 218k. That is right. So, well, he's gone. That's us down to 7. And then there were 7. James McCarthy. Come on, what is he still doing at Celtic? Why have Celtic not come to an agreement with James McCarthy? And yeah, we did get rid of Sorrow. I've put him out of the team. James McCarthy, it needs to go and play football. At his stage of his career, he is one that really needs to go. Another one that I think needs to go is obviously, I think Rocco Vata needs to be sold because he's only got a year left in his contract. It looks like he's no interested. If he had any interest in signing an extension to his contract, Celtic would have done what they did to the other guys, the young guys that were coming through, give them that extra year and then put them out on loan for a year. Get them some first team football. Haksabanovic needs decent players around him to play. I actually think he can be a cracking player, says Jotlaw. Why was Seagrass got to go? Hart could go. Hart has got the experience of playing in the Champions League and he's played at the higher level. Going into the Champions League with a player that's never played at that level and at his age, we've got a really young team. You can't go with a really young keeper, I'm afraid. That's just my opinion, but we are. Yeah, you could say Hart will go at the end of this season. Don't worry, you'll all get your wish. Hart will go after this season. I can't see him taking up a place on the coaching staff that we maybe thought he would. His family still stays down south. He wants to get back down towards his family. So, he will go. He will go. So, the next player that I think obviously needs to go is, I said, Rocco Vata. We need to get Albion Ajeti off the books. This guy is taking 18 grand a week out of Celtic. And Celtic need to come to an agreement with him and let him go. Just let him go because we're not going to get money for him. We're going to get money for Rocco Vata. And then we have to take out Big Haksabanovic. Right? He's failed. He's only played since he's came to Celtic. I mean, going on to social media, he did the exact same at his last club. Right? So he's got previous for this. He has had experience at his last club of doing something similar. And when we take on players like that, we do have to think, they are pretty much journeymen. And he wanted out his last club, and he's done it. He's done it, and he's doing it to Celtic. He thinks he should be getting played every week. He thinks he's better than what he's shown. He's only played something like 18 games since he came to Celtic. And in my opinion, after today's outburst on social media, saying that if I'm not wanted, maybe I'm in the wrong place. And then when you've got the likes of Sorrow agreeing with him, giving him the thumbs up, it just says, what's going wrong at Celtic just now. We have too many players in the squad. What is that doing? That we have too many players in the squad that are just, they shouldn't be there. And I know they won't be training with the first team, but they'll still be in the player group chat. Short Mems, he done a great job from coming in the big downer on him. Who are you talking about? He wants to go to the EPL. Celtic was a short window. Yes, it was. And he's not playing great, so he's never got into that short window. He's another player that thought he would come in, do well, and get a move down to England. So a vape in the huddle, put in his mouth and see if he opens his eyes. Get him out. Hart. Kevin wants Hart out. Kevin wants Joe Hart out the door. He'll be out the door. Haxer should be going. Yeah, Paul. After today, for me, if you're manager, and I understand that there was a Celtic first team player that gave it a thumbs up, who pretty quickly then took it down, because you can guarantee that Callum would have got told about what was going on Instagram, and Callum would have went straight onto the group chat and went, anybody agrees with this nonsense, they will be dealt with. You cannot go out and start talking. If you're not happy, you go to the manager's door. You go to the manager's door. Right, Benji, and runs this team at the ground for 2 years. He knew they were done. We can't keep on talking about what happened in the past, right? We need to. I mean, Haxa should be gone tonight. Yes, he should. He should be sold to the look. Take 2 million for him and get him out the door. Right? Let's go into what Haksabanovic said. Right? Oh, and a bit of good news. This will please the PLC this evening. This will please the board. You could see Lowell sitting with his belly out, eating his pie. He probably eats a lot of pie. Jeremy Frimpong, remember him? Looks like he's going to get his move. Chelsea are reported to be plotting a move for Frimpong, and that could land Celtic a pretty hefty fee, because you remember we sold him for, I think it was 11.5 million, and we put on a hefty sell-on clause, and the Germans, as German team as well, they're looking to sell him for 30 million. Yeah, he's been brilliant since he moved to Germany. Going by the stats, he was only in Celtic for 18 months. The fact that he's now getting a move to the English Premiership, fair play to him. The fact that he's going for 30 million, Celtic will get a big chunk of that. Getting a big chunk of that. Why is Myra? Where did that one go? Slave. Right. Why is Myra talking to the media so much these days? He speaks as if Ange is an ex-lover. Who knows? We put a 30% fee on with that. Well, a 30% fee of 30 million is happy days for Lawwell and Co. There's more money for them to bank this year. No, there's no new announcement and new signings. I'm just waiting for the usual, whose birthday is it, Monday and Tuesday? Because you can guarantee German football is underrated. Spanish football is underrated. I had a conversation with someone, I think it was Instagram or Facebook, that said Spanish football's rubbish. And I was like, all right, on you go. He said he would rather watch Motherwell and St. Johnstone on a December than a lower league in Spain. And I went, I would rather watch a game in Spain because it's still going to be 20 degrees during the day here. Anyway, each to their own. And stood for no crap from players, the board. The players knew they had to perform their best or be dropped. Lanky's birthday's on Thursday. Oh, Lanky, we need to do a live. No, we can't do a live for you on Thursday. You can't come onto YouTube on Thursday. You'll get the day off. You get the day off, mate. Yeah, get the day off. Yeah, a chunk of money from Frimpong and not spend it. This is true, Alan. The fact that we're going to get another cash injection this season, it is unbelievable. What happened to the £30 million that we were going to spend on players? We were all excited. We're going to. It's getting to the end of the window now, and I did say, we'll talk about it come the end of the window, and we have been completely underwhelmed. Not many two contributors, chased a lot of them. Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 that are really first team starters when they're all fit. I think when we look at the players that I mentioned, Andy wants a big shout out. Money is spent. I've left too late. I'm worried. But next week, more money coming in and nothing spent on pure rubbish for Europe. And it's going to be embarrassing, Andy. It really is. And I'm completely in agreement with you. And I had to switch the telly off because I was watching the Barcelona game and didn't want it to get in the way. There's one part of me that is absolutely loving the fact that we're going to be in. And by the way, if we get Barcelona, we could take them. Barcelona are nowhere where they used to be. The fact that they're having to bring in 16-year-old player, but they get the 16-year-old player is good. I will say that. But I tell you one thing, the fact that Villarreal were 2-0 down, and before I switched it off, they were winning 3-2 against Barcelona at home. Villarreal were winning, so that was good. Lawwell, a scapegoat for Dermot. A reasonable explanation for his return. I don't think Lawwell's a scapegoat for Dermot. I think Dermot entrusts any man that owns a business is going to leave people in charge of the business that he trusts. I think Lawwell coming back has just added fuel to the fire, and the amount of people the English football is better than English. Yeah, it is. It's way better, in my own opinion. Way better. I think since Lawwell came back, it was always a fear that we would go backwards, and I think we are. And I think Brendan having sly digs in the media now saying that, look, I've told the boards, I've told them the type of player we need. We need experience, and they keep coming back to me with players that are project players, and that's all fine. Is it 4-3 to Barca now? You're having a laugh. Is it 4-3 to Real Madrid or 4-3 to Barca? 4-3 to Barca, because Barca are away from home. That's something else. And Villarreal got a goal chopped offside. Baz, we couldn't even take Kelly, St. Johnson. Never mind Barca. Yeah, this is true. But once we get everyone back, I'm hopeful. You've got to, as Celtic fans, you've always got to be hopeful. Desmond doesn't care about Celtic. He doesn't put money into the club. The fans do. Spending nothing on quality is to blame. To blame the boards. This is very true. But we were also, it was also said, right? It was also said that we were going to spend 30 million on quality. We were going to spend 30 million on quality that would improve the team. And as it stands just right now, we've spent 15 million just to make the squad a bit better. If we had the Croatian goalkeeper, Hart could have gone. Yes, but we didn't spend the 8 million that it would have took to get him. Oh, look who it is. Ban and delete user. It's all right. I've just banned and deleted him. So that's another channel that he's started up. It's another one that he's started up. When you look at the board and you look at the money that they've amassed this season, we had 30 million. It was all spoke about. We had 30 million to spend this transfer window. We didn't need to go out and replace a lot of players at the time. We knew once Jota left that we had to get a replacement. We've not really got a direct replacement in for him. When it comes down to it, Thursday night, if we have not got, Andrew's the one saying send 3 big signings, 30 million. Yeah, 10 million each. You could have went out and got 3 £10 million players that would have improved the squad. You know, Celtic's net spend will be 10 million profit. I think it'll be more than 10 million profit. Way more than 10 million profit. Especially if we sell anyone. Especially if we sell anyone in the next day or so. And I think there will be people going out the door. Big shout out to Robert Osborne. This evening, who's just bought a t-shirt. And remember, if you're looking for hoopsmerch.co.uk, you'll get some fantastic t-shirts. There's going to be an upgrade to some of them this week also. James says, no ambition, no heart, no class. That's Lawwell and his penny pinching board. It is all over, I'm afraid. And we thought, let's look at it this way. Ange came in and spent 30 million in his first season, right? We spent 30 million in that first season. We then spent a good bit of money in his second season. We got into the Champions League, and let's face it, we never done anything in the Champions League, but we took the money. We brought in a new manager, supposedly with the talk that we were going to spend 30 million this season again on new players. You know, so to spend 15 million and watch the team actually get worse. 15 million to watch the team get worse is pretty disappointing from our point of view. And the fans were right to boo yesterday. They were right to boo yesterday after the game. Just checking the notifications. The fact that, you know, when you've got players that come out on social media and say, if they don't see the value in you, maybe you're not in the right place. That to me says that there is something wrong in the background. But the squad is too big. Brendan did say they needed to cut the squad. There's players that I've just mentioned. We'll go through them again. I think we'll start for the bottom and work our way up again. Albion Ajeti, he needs to be shown the door one way or the other. Celtic need to take the hit and pay off the last year of his contract or whatever it is. I don't know if it's a year or 2 year. Rocco Vata, look, he's not going to sign a new deal. Verona are being sniffing about him. Get him sold. If we're not going to play him because we think he's not good enough at 19, sell him now. Haksabanovic, he needs to go after that today. James McCarthy, he needs to be shown the door. Bernabe, I would actually think if we're in the market for a new left back, I would get Bernabe out the door. Kobayashi's injured. Benjamin Siegrist, he's nowhere near the first team. He can't get near the first team. And is Bain really good? Is Bain that good a keeper that's keeping him out the team? You can't tell me that Bain is better than Benji Siegrist. Surely not. So David Stoker says, I wouldn't blame Rodgers for leaving. I would play Vata rather than Forrest. That is an interesting one. What James brings to the team is a wealth of experience for the younger guys. And I can understand what you're saying. But it is a really young team. If you watch the video that I put up this afternoon, the average age of the team is only about 23. And if we were that good, you would say, yeah, let's run with it. But as it stands just now, that team going into the Champions League would just give it. It's not experienced enough. Bain is absolute. Says James. Why should we pay Ajeti's contract off? Because it means he's got a contract, and that's what happens, Chilpil. We can't get him out the door otherwise. He has to leave. And he'll stick around and take his 18 grand a week. 5 or 6 players need to go this week. That is definite. If these chancers can't do a turn, how do you expect them to punt in them? Yep, that's true. We all know why Bain is there. Yeah, we all know why Bain is there, Alan. It's purely for the Scottish thing in Europe. Burnley needs to be put out. And winger, if not fullback. We actually need to be more realistic from the Scottish League. Talking about the Scottish League, right? Is the league too small? Is the league too small? Because I personally think that we need to increase the size of the league. This nonsense with playing each other 4 times it's absolutely boring now. It's past it. I think the nonsense with the split, you've got 8 teams in the Scottish League that are comfortable just being where they are. They know they're never going to go down. They know they're never going to win it. And it's like, what is the point? Right? You've got this top and bottom 6 split, and in the playoffs, keep the playoff system. I totally agree with that. But get rid of this top 6 split. Get rid of that altogether, and then make the league bigger. If we want to improve the league, we're going to have to make it bigger because teams are too comfortable in the way that they play. Too comfortable. You've basically got 8 teams in the league that know that they're going to do absolutely nothing all season. They know that when it comes to playing Celtic or Rangers, especially Celtic, they're just going to sit back, and it's horrible to watch. So my missus, who's not really a football fan, said, when we watch Spanish football, it's so more exciting. Do you know what I mean? It's so more exciting. Let's say the best ever season of whitewash was against the Huns. Yep, Chris Sutton Chip. I think back then the league was a bit more competitive, and I think what we've got now is a league where teams are prepared to sit back and do nothing. We've won 3 years, fraction of shafting disharmony ahead between Lawwell and Rodgers. Yes. Too many dead games if you want to make it bigger. Is there too many dead games though? If you increase the league slightly? Because a 12-team league, too many dead games. You can only play what's in front of you. And I'm sure that when Barcelona go to Cadiz and places like that, they don't moan about, this is just another crappy game. It's like playing each other 4 times is nonsense. It's complete nonsense. And I think something has to change. And saying, too many dead games. It's just. I don't think it's good for the Scottish game. That's just my own personal thought, and we're all entitled to them on this channel. Half the league play for a draw. It's anti-football. Yes, it is, and this is my point. You know, half them play for a draw. Half them play so that to make sure that they don't get beat or that they. You know, it's horrible, horrible football that the Scottish League's turned into. Unfortunately, the last couple of seasons we were exciting. Not now, hopefully we'll improve, says Hazel. We were exciting for the first season under Ange. And let's face it, the second half of the season, teams started to sit in. Joseph says he agrees the split is rubbish. Time Celtic get out of Scotland, not England either. I don't think that getting out of Scotland is the answer. And I'm just watching my neighbour prancing around. Anyway. This country's brilliant. Right. It's rugby, anti-football. Is that Hazel will improve? The only is up. Teams sitting back. Didn't work with Ange long. Well, it didn't the last 4 games of the season. You know, and this thing that's, you know, we found it hard. It's hard to break down teams. If you look at the way that Ange played, right, the teams didn't sit back as much because we passed the ball out for the back. You need to attract quality players out with teams that sit back. Every season we get a few shock results. Yes, Lanky, this is true. So that happens. We have to put faith. And it's the end of the season that counts. It is the end of the season that counts. And are we panicking too much? Have we been a bit spoiled over the last couple of years? Klopp won't be getting sacked now. What's happened at Liverpool? 16-team league with a reserve league to bring through the youth players. Yes, I would probably say we need to do something because the league is a prospect. I mean, people call it the Farmers League, and the fact that there is only 12 teams in the league, it needs to change. There's nothing exciting about it. There's nothing exciting about the split. When you can have a team that finishes 7th in the league, finish with more points than the team in 6th, you have to ask the wisdom, because that team that finishes in 7th then goes, you know, we're missing out on a couple of 100,000, and it's ridiculous that you're talking about that narrow margins. I'm going to start supporting Catholic United FC. It's Jot Law. The last manager got into 18 would be the max. Yeah, check them out. If you fancy Barcelona in the Champions League, we would get hammered. 5 times Champions League. Let's go. Yeah, but they're not playing that good. But I think they won today after coming back. You've got to dream. And we beat Barcelona before. So saying that we can't beat them, we beat them before at Celtic Park. And I was there. It was a fantastic evening. And when Tony Watt takes that run for the halfway line and scores an absolute screamer against Barcelona, why can't you dream? Why knock that little bit of excitement? I mean, I only watched 3/4 of the game for Villarreal Barcelona. I've never seen the two goals that they obviously scored to win it, if they won it. But they weren't that good the first half. You know, they weren't that good. Villarreal had pretty much had them, the marking of them, even though they were getting beat 2-0 at one point, and then they were winning 3-2. Turnbull is not good enough for Celtic, says CFC 1888. I still think we have invincible memories under Brendan, which the last 2 performances and results are such a shock. In my opinion, says Rod, Benji is one of the best keepers in Scotland. He got relegated with Dundee United. And then they came back up. So you know, you've got to think if he's one of the best keepers in Scotland, would Dundee United have got relegated? O'Reilly and Turnbull playing so high up, leaving the midfield exposed. Crazy tactics. And that is, love it. And as I said in the video this afternoon, when you've not got the inverted fullbacks, when you've not got the inverted fullbacks, you're leaving a big gap in the midfield, and Callum McGregor's getting run over. Callum McGregor's getting pretty much man-marked, and because everyone knows that everything goes through him. Hail, hail, Baz. Just think of the dream, the Lisbon Lions and the Scottish players. It's no use thinking about that far back anymore. We can think about what they did and but we're never going to do anything like that again. We won't beat Barca playing the way Brendan wants. No chance. The reason that we beat them the last time is because Neil Lennon was the manager in front of him and adapting the different tactics to suit. Lowell came back in January 2023, did he not? Yes, Lowell came back this year. And ever since Lowell came back, we have lost a good manager. And we brought in Brendan Rodgers, who, let's face it, fell out with Lowell before he left the club. We need 3 or 4 signings in the door as soon as possible, says Michael. Yes, we do. And the fact that the manager said it after the game, we need quality in. We need it in this week. We knew we needed quality in before we even got into, before the window had even opened. And that's one of the disappointing things. We knew that we needed 3 or 4 quality players. Rodgers came in and said, the team doesn't need a lot of doing to it. So why are we going out and buying so many prospect players? We know that the squad is going to be a rotation in the squad. There hasn't been the rotation that we thought. The players that we thought were going to leave they're not leaving. I mean, Taylor playing inverted fullback worked because he started as a centre mid, then moved to left back. What are you drinking? It's an energy drink thing. You probably have similar thing to it would be. I'm trying to think back home. It replaces all your electrolytes and all that crap because you sweat buckets here and you need to make sure you get all your salts in you or you end up with cramp in the middle of the night. Anyway, Mark Lawwell and his dad. I think Mark Lawwell is done fantastic for Celtic, but having the 2 Lawwells. Good evening there from the Shire, but sorry, late to the party. Don't worry about it, Chris. Hopefully we'll get some good news. It's lemon juice. No, it's no lemon juice. You're on the lemon juice. Said all along. DJ Singy is in the house. We are so far away from the last 2 seasons, both on and off the pitch. I wonder if Palmer will be in the team next Sunday. I hope he is. I hope he really is. And I hope we've got a defender comes in. Looks like they're still going to go with a Southampton defender. But not really sure. Let's see if there's any breaking Celtic news this evening. Scales could ruthlessly ditch Scales. Not a chance. BBC reporter shares how Celtic support reacted. They didn't like this. I knew that I said this yesterday that the Green Brigade are going to the 100 or so fans, and I totally respect them because they set their stall out before Rodgers got here, and we knew as soon as they got a couple of bad results they would go against them, and quite rightly so. But the fact that there was only about 100 odd fans making a noise about it after the game, the headlines are just what you would expect. Anything to have a dig at Celtic. We can't compare the last 2 seasons. That was a special manager. We're just adding to the flames. Yes, we are. Yeah, Alan, BBC reporter says it all, but I'm just looking through a site that gives me all the headlines that's coming up. Jeremy Frimpong, yep. And it's interesting to see that Spurs are now after Jota. And Jota's been told to get out of the country as quick as he can. I think that's absolutely disgusting. We need 5 players to come in this week and start for the game at Ibrox. The only Palmer needs to hit the ground running. Any player that comes in this week is going to have to hit the ground running, right? We've got 441 amazing people online, and we've got 98 thumbs up. So if you are watching, make sure that you get the thumbs up smashed, and that would be fantastic. Like a big shout out to Robert, who made a fantastic. He's get yourself some beers. I got some beers last night. Got absolutely smashed. It wasn't beers, it was wine and then Bacardi. Went for a meal and then we went to the bar, and then it was yeah, had a good night. And then Andy, who had a super chat, 4.99, says money needs spent. Um, Left too late. I'm worried about next week. You so man, so man. I mean, we've spent. You're right. You're right. The Champions League is probably going to be embarrassing, which is it's not how we thought. When we think back to June, when we think back to June, and the excitement of winning the treble, the excitement of I'll talk about Yang in a minute. I thought he was really good. I thought he was really good. I think he's going to be some player, but we should have had him playing a bit earlier. I reckon everyone's overreacting. Rodgers has suddenly become a bad manager. Yeah, it's probably true. You don't. When you have to think about all the changes, there's a few things that went wrong so far, and that comes down to the PLC. That's not Rodgers' fault. Selling Starfelt so early on in the window when our main defender wasn't 100% fit was a big mistake. Why didn't we say to Carroll, right, you'll go, but you'll play these games. You'll play the cup game, right? Even playing him up to the cup game so that we didn't have to rely on Cameron Carter-Vickers. That would have given Cameron another week or so to try and get match fit. That was down to the board. That's down to the board, and it's nothing to do with Brendan. That's one thing that I think, is anyone concerned, is going to end up the same as Neil Lennon's return? No, because it's a totally different. We had the pressure. The pressure of the 9 in a row was something that a lot of the players that went through it, they knew once they'd hit the 9, they knew it's like they've achieved it. It's like, why stick around to try and get the 10? They were at the end of their contracts. They were promised they would be sold. Players were promised that they would get moved on, and they weren't moved on, which was unfortunate. And then we went into the COVID season, and then you can't move players on. So, you can't move any players on that summer, which is unfortunate. But, sorry, but Rodgers is wasting Kyogo, in my opinion. Says, love it. It is, and I can understand why he's trying to do it, but bringing them far too far back is killing the game. And Brendan has to see that himself. But Brendan has said that he wants fast-paced football. So I did put in this morning, I said, is it the fact that the players aren't understanding what they're being told to do, how they're being told to play? Having a player coming out and saying that they've got a hangover from the way that Postecoglou used to play is nonsense. They've had the whole summer to get into the new way of playing. Should do a poll. I'll put Celtic through or a transfer done. What's that, Lanky? Baji, could you do a poll? Will Celtic pull through, or is transfers done with? No, there'll be transfers this week. There'll be definitely transfers this week. And if there's not, I fear the worst. And it comes down to one man. And that one man's Peter Lawwell. And if that transpires again, I think there has to be dramatic changes at Celtic. Brendan knows win the league or he's gone. He does, Peter. He does. It's now the league is now everything. Baz, I'm done spending my hard-earned money at the club, so parasites can get richer. You don't understand that fact. I can spend my money on my wains. Yes, Jotlo. Listen, I spent when I first came out of 111 and went up to the club Celtic lounge, Club Celtic. The seats for one seat was £1,400 a seat. I had 2 seats in the Club Celtic lounge, right? So there were 1,400 each. The time that I left, there were £2,000 a seat per season. I had 2 of them. So I know all about spending money on Celtic. I've done it. I've paid my dues over the years. And, Celtic, they just we need we need to get great to be part of our podcast where we're not happy clappers. This is true. And this channel's never been a happy clapping channel. Never will be. Lawwell factor isn't. You know, Lawwell for me personally should never be back at the club. I don't care what he says. It made me cringe when I seen him coming out when we were putting the league flag up first game of the season because you just knew you seen it when him and Brendan got their photos taken together. You know, I spend thousands a year, Baz. I'm done with it. The board's stealing our money. That is, that is. Um, I counted up that I spent about 10 grand one season following Celtic. And it was what it was. It was my thing. It was my thing. And it's a lot. It's lots of people's things. I know lots of guys. I know guys that have been going to the football for 30, 40 years, and that's their life. It's their life. Do you know what I mean? It is their life. I'm with you. It's almost like taking the piss out of the fans. But let's just get to Thursday. Let's get to Thursday, and then we'll do the live on Friday. And I might do a live on Thursday night. We'll do a live. Give me yeses for lives on a Thursday. Give me yeses. As many yeses as you can. Lowell syndrome. Give me yeses on the live chat, and we'll do one Thursday night. I don't think there'll be any late transfer activity on Thursday, but there'll be a lot of other channels doing it as well. This is the only thing that I'm worried about. But we do have a little nice community. So yes. Who really cares? Him saying yes. If fraudsters want to start playing football, it needs to change formation, especially when teams are camped in. Yes, I'll be steamboats. It will definitely be a night for a bag of cans. I'm not touching spirits. I had far too many spirits last night. Yang was so far ahead of everybody else at the park. Wow, you'll no regret it, Baz. Right, that's it. We're doing it. We're going to do a deadline day. We'll do a deadline day live. Yes, the TV is rank. Thanks. That makes me feel so much better, Kevin. I thought you were. I did. We do. And she's sitting out there. We're not going out on Thursday, are we? That's cool. I'm doing a live for the transfer deadline day. Awesome. No, it's not lemon and barley water. It is. Wait, I'll get one of the tins. I'll get. No, I can't because I can't leave the video. Bag of cans and Baz on Friday. Lawwell, 2 million bonus every year. That would pay for a right good quality players. It's the calm before the storm with signings, Baz. It is, and I've got a. I think birthday night for Lanky. Sure, did Lanky say yes? I missed some of the yeses. Surely Lanky's not going to come on his birthday. Are you still online, Lanky? I'm just flipping back. Lanky says, "I but will be Steve." Perfect. Right, we'll do a live for. And I'll even sing in Spanish. Happy birthday! No. Birthday night for yeah. Right, bag of cans. Why are you doing it Thursday? I'll be doing one on Friday as well. I'm doing it Thursday because is it not transfer deadline day on Thursday? I thought it was Thursday night that the transfer window closes. Is it Friday? I need to look into that. A few tins. Happy birthday for Lanky. Scottish football is way stronger with Brendan Rodgers second stint here. It was a non-existent Rangers first time, and the rest of the pack were really poor. Never mind if Brendan goes, we could all. Jeez, no. Yeah, everyone's. And I wasn't asking. I was telling. I was telling her. Just making sure. Just making sure. What time on Thursday? I've no idea yet. Let me. It's not. What day is it? Sunday, isn't it? God, see what happens when you go out on a Saturday night and get steamboats. Yeah, let us get through the week first of all. And let's see what transfer deals are done. Let's see what transfer deals are done, and let's see if Celtic get a big chunk of the 30 million plus the German club are going to get for selling Jeremy Frimpong. We did sell him for 11.5 million. We've got a massive 30% selling clause. I noticed that we do have a 20% selling on clause for the player that's coming in. It's a unfree zone. I'm all for this. I hate them. That's it. I have a ticket for Sunday. Obviously not official. Hun's wife can't make it. You're not actually going to go. You're going to go and sit in beside them. Really? Snuggle Wednesday night pass. Oh man, this channel was absolutely fantastic. 5 SBL fixtures in a row. Wonder who drew the fixtures. Yeah, Will said that at the time. It's midnight on Thursday, Chalpo. It is midnight on Thursday. I'm not sticking around to the midnight. Not a chance, because that's 1 o'clock in the morning here. Good man, Bats. Reciting my ask the wife first. You've got to, because we go out on a Thursday, because we don't work on a Friday. So, yeah. Right. Hail, hail, brothers. St. John of Gods will never play better. If O'Reilly puts his chances away, it would have been hunky dory. If their keeper wasn't as good, so good, oh no, he'd sit beside the numpties. No, neither could I. Big carry for Thursday it is then. No, I'm not getting no chance, not in a live, no way, not a chance. Celtic target lands in Qatar ahead of medical. Who's this? Let's see. Oh well, looks like we're not getting Lanko. He's arrived in Qatar to complete a medical of a move to Al Gahafi. So there's one player that we're not going to get. So there it's live. We've just broken the news. Celtic target Lanko from Southampton has arrived in Qatar. Southampton defender was linked with a move to Celtic amidst the injury crisis. But there he is. He's pictured. If you go into at Sports Zone _ on Twitter, he is in Qatar. Well, there's another one. Well, there's a defender that we're not going to get. Well, that's great news. Cracking news. There's a defender we thought we were going to get in the door is now not coming. What was that one? Can I speak Spanish? Yes. Badly. They call it Spanglish here. But we are making... Yeah, I can speak it, but I can get by. I can have conversations. It's quite good. So anyway, 11 p.m. Friday the 1st of September, a Scottish transfer window closes. So it's 11 o'clock at night on Friday. That's all right. It's midnight here. Southampton fans couldn't wait to get rid of him. Well, they've got rid of him, and he is off to one of the big money countries. He has been pictured with a couple of Arab guys in their white. They must spend a fortune on laundry detergent to keep their stuff that white, or they either wear it once. And he's smiling, so he's definitely not coming to Celtic. That's unfortunate. Because I thought Lanko will be released in 2 weeks. No, being gazumped. You don't remember when Brendan Rodgers said he could be at Celtic for life, turncoat. He only came back to salvage his career. There's no English Premiership team would hire him, the mug. He did admit that he was taking a year out, and he was in Spain living at the time. So, he said he wanted to take a year out of football. He did turn down a job in Saudi purely for the fact that he didn't think that it was a good place to go. And so anyway, let's move on from that. Lawwell's excuse is the big money country took all our targets. O'Reilly doesn't put in his leases through the ball. His leases? His laces, you mean? Us. More chance of us getting a bag of cans. No big loss, methinks, says Chris. It's no big loss, but when you're linked with a defender that kind of looks as if he could do a job for us, you then think, are we going to actually get in anyone decent? My grandfather was from Toledo, and I can't speak a word of it. That's your grandfather. That's a fantastic bit of the country. Fantastic part of Spain. Really nice part of Spain. Yeah. Sunday will tell us all about Rodgers. I don't think Sunday will tell us anything that we don't know about Rodgers already. I think what it will do Thursday, Friday will tell us everything that we need to know about the Celtic board. And then it's up to us as supporters at the AGM that's up and coming to question the board. And nothing will happen. Nothing ever changes at Celtic. It never does. And we're going to go through the exact same, and it'll all be forgotten. Oh, you know my name again. There he is. Ban and delete user on his comments. That's another channel. It's another channel we started and been banned with. Never known anybody to start up so many YouTube channels just to try and comment on here. Bring back Gigi. You can see the Huns game being 12 canner. See, Spanglish. It sounds like Garfield language. It's what the Spanish call it. They said it was. That's the way they call it. Reported. Yeah, report his channel. Oh, wait a minute. Text. No, it's not. Shut up. It's not the football one. It's not a football one. I give up the transfers as well. I give up the transfers. Anyway, Palmer will be that. How long have we been on? We're on for another 9 minutes. And then that is it for the evening. A big shout out to two superstars tonight who bought super chats. Get yourself some beers, mate. You deserve it. I think we all deserve to have more than a beer. Robert Hunter, you're an amazing supporter of the channel. And a big super chat for Andy. He says money needs spent. It's been left too late. He's worried for next week. More money coming in and nothing spent for Europe. It's just unbelievable the way that this has just went. And the verdict and scales yesterday. I thought he could have played a bit better. Could have played really a bit better. Some of his passing. Where are you? Where's your comment? It's good for the left back, yeah. But he does have too many bad passes. Far too many bad passes. The positional play was good. His positional play was good throughout the game, I thought. But he's not at the standard that we need. Christopher, let me see what you're saying. Let's give Safeco a reality check next week. They're crawling now. I want to see the bodies on the line. Give them nothing. Do we really? Rogers came back to rekindle his marriage. No, he didn't. He was in Spain. His wife here, Raj. Lowell strikes again. Yep. Good idea for Scales for left back. When a centre back is back fit, Scales is crap going forward. And really cost us. Yeah. When Scales made that run up the park and he got over the halfway line and there was kind of nobody there and he didn't know what to do. What's the point, Baz, if the board aren't going to listen? The fact that the board brought Peter Lawwell back for me just said it all. Just said it all completely. Let's see how many new subscribers we gained with the new fake channels. Yeah, it's jumped up. We can't fear the man came up on Sunday. We can't. But the way that we're playing, Scales isn't Celtic class. No, he's not. He's not, I'm afraid. He got up over that halfway line. And if you look at the way that even when Starfelt crossed the halfway line, at least he could get a pass to a player. Scales came out from defence, ran up to the other end of the park and lost the ball. He lost the ball. And for me, he just had to make a pass. Just make a pass to a player. And he didn't. He managed to lose the ball. Baz, who was subbed and not used, would have been better than a Bada. Doing nothing. Scales as a Shamrock Rovers class. We don't fear the third. Just not confident. We need to see our players take men on with the ball. We Forest is finished now. Sad to say. Forest is good and a good team of players. You've got to remember the quality, the standard of our team ever since the 9 in a row year has went really downhill. What does he ask? Phil Jones incoming. Do you think so? Scales was found out his level at the Sheep. Yeah, I think that's probably his level. When it comes to playing for Celtic, you really need to be a bit better than what he is. Let me just do some of this. Let me just check something. Yeah. Just next time that happens, we just need to ban them straight away. I think it's amazing that somebody comes on and has so many different profiles just to watch Celtic. Anyway, Spain is a beautiful country. It is that. Is Let's get back up to this one. And Forest has been finished since Brendan left. The first time, Baz, I'd give you a pint, but my money goes in my three wains. That's all right. That's all right. Don't apologise. Don't apologise. About 9 players were, yes, they were. They were. They were. About 9 players were shy on Sunday. We need a strong defensive midfield player. Calmack can move further forward. Richard, I've been saying that for weeks now. I've been saying it with weeks. Little with the zombies with little. Yang's the man for Sunday. I think Yang is. If we can get Yang in, if we can get this other guy in, I think it could be a complete turnaround. I wouldn't dream of sitting on in a Hun podcast. Where are all the Scottish talent gone? Look at the Scottish League. They're all playing that defensive way when they play against Celtic. McTominay, not a chance. Too expensive. Too expensive. Far too. Did he not move anyway, McTominay? When is Tilo back? September, which will be after the international break. There seems to be a lot of players coming back after the international break. When Brendan left for Leicester before they went down, he won't hang along at Celtic if quality doesn't arrive. I think he will still hang around. Now that he's still at Man U. I can't see us taking him. You never know. Robertson from Liverpool. That would be fantastic, but I don't think we could afford his wages either. Mancini said, I've nobody plays in the streets anymore. Yeah, it's true. Well, I don't know about Spain because in Spain, the kids play football outside the church. The kids play football on the beach. I mean, I see it when people are in church just around the corner. I mean, there's two churches within 5 minutes walk from me, and you see them playing football in the square outside one church, and then when mass is on in the other church, the kids are outside playing football. And that's why Spanish football players are better than us. Kids these days, they can't play in the street. And that's why Scottish football's so bad, because you're not allowed your kids to go out and play. And then, kids aren't interested. The time they get to 16, 17, 18, they're not interested in playing football. And let's face it, they can go and get a job that pays more than what they're paying young football players. So, come on, Baz, answer about AGM. And what's the point? You never see that here now. No, Lorna, you don't, and it's unfair. I mean, that's what you can have kids going through. I mean, I've known my cousin's son plays for Hearts at the moment, and they've got probably one of the best youth setups in Scotland. And he raves about it. He actually turned down Celtic. Celtic came in for him, and he turned them down because he wants to stay at Hearts because they've got such a better youth system. So, and it goes back to the whole thing that we started the video off on tonight. It's the size of the league. Youth players are not getting a chance. So they're all going, what's the point? Leave Celtic. We lost Ben Cook and he walks it right into the Liverpool team. It's anyway. Good floodlight pitch and Benny Hoffer. Since you're up that way, what's Cottrell like? You've got 2 minutes to tell me. It's yeah, exactly. Access for the kids. I mean, it is. If you look where I stay, right? I mean, it is called the Sports City. It's not called a Sports City for no reason. Anyway, a lot of booing at the end of the game. It only rubs honey on the Huns. Most of our fans were basically saying that they're not going to lose next week. They'll hammer us. Makes me sad. Tam, I think you're right. I think people have got the right to boo. And when Celtic drop points this early in the season against a team that's bottom of the league, against not being in control, it's cool. It's just wondering. It's a nice little town. Benny Hoffer's nice, though. It's a cracking place. What were we talking about? I blame global cooling. Waynes don't want to go out. Global cooling. It's been 30 odd degrees here over here. Buckfast has wasted young players. Belfast is wasting young players. Oh my goodness! Right, the time is about up for this evening in my area. They would rather play FIFA than football. Yeah, they would rather play FIFA than football. Baz, right? Please answer me, Marco. What is the point of the AGM? The board will never listen. Yeah, the point of the AGM is so that people like the Celtic Trust can try and have their say, can try and and it's just people, the same old questions get asked at the AGM every year, and until there's a Celtic fan presence on the board, nothing's going to change. Anyway, let's wrap the video up because we've kept you long enough. There are still 455 people online. Lorna says, yeah, I don't see some fans saying that they're going to pump us. Only acting and help the other club. Was that the game Saturday? And let me just see. The game Saturday, and not everyone boos. I don't think. It did sound like it came right around the stadium. So you can only go by what we heard on the television, and it did sound like it was right around the stadium. Big shout out to. I'll just check that one. Teachers Guild, the youth ones. Big shout out to Robert Hunter, who got a super chat this evening, and a big shout out to Andy, who also got in a super chat. A big shout to everyone that has been on the live again. You know you're all absolute superstars. Bye bye, Haxa. Bye bye, Haxa. Bye bye, everyone that's been on the live tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic. There will be a Celtic News video out tomorrow morning to see if there's anything news. And then there'll be your Monday night live as normal. And then we can talk about any incomings that might have happened. Or will it be another day where Celtic have got the birthday card notifications out? Exciting stuff. Real exciting stuff. On that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party.